So, how do I feel that I have a soul in my body and I want to just connect with my own soul? How can I do that?
I believe our souls never die
Mhm.
and we change our body. So it's like you're changing clothes.
Many people prefer the silence, but
Mm.
the silence may be the uncomfortable for many people. Like many people doesn't like the silence. So why silence is still necessary for the soul?
Simplest story to stillness, be with your thoughts.
Now, do you see the ego as an enemy or is it a misunderstood teacher?
So the ego is the servant. You have to put that aside.
So how can I identify or recognize that our choice is coming from our ego or from our soul? So how the powerful is intention is shaping not just our day, but it could be a destiny.
Even the mind knows it's time to let go. It's still hard. Your soul is waiting for you. The relationship with your soul is the most important relationship.
Hello audience, welcome to the another episode of Samir Show. Today we are not just having the conversations. Today we are creating a sacred space. Why I'm telling you that? My guest is Tania, founder of Musefowl Retreat Spa in Thailand, and she is a intuitive soul guide, the meditation teacher, and the host of the podcast Embrace Your Sacred Nature. So through her work, she helps the people to find the clarity, connect with their own soul, and with the intention. So in these episodes we are going to slow down a little bit, and today together we are gonna explore all the mysteries of the souls, the dance of the ego, and the power of the intentions that healing the energy of forgiveness and love. So whenever you are take a deep breath, soften your shoulders and allow all the conversations to be a moment of the pause and your moment of peace. So Tania, welcome to the Samir Show. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here again. Thank you, Samir. We're good here in Thailand. Sunny Thailand.
Yeah, even I wanted to visit the Thailand, but I never get a chance. But definitely in the future, I'll definitely do.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So Tanya, that you are more focused on the soul guide. So my first question is, what is the soul's deepest longing?
So I believe our soul's deepest longing is to express the divine consciousness. So this is what we're here to do, is to express and to experience divinity. So that's what I believe.
So do you mean that soul, suppose if we dead, then do you mean that soul has been lost, or will it wait then we return back?
Oh, okay. So so in my belief, I believe that our souls never die and we change our body. So it's like you're changing clothes. So I do believe we have different lives. And so, our soul come here in this life, in this body, to learn certain lessons. And then once, this is done, this life is done, our soul is not lost. It's just, it goes back to the, can say the source, go back to the universe, and maybe goes to another planet to learn another lesson, and then may or may not come back to the earth to learn more. Depends.
So how
on the plan of the soul.
So how do I feel that I have a soul in my body and I want to just connect with my own soul? How can I do that?
So that's a really good question. How can we connect to our soul? Well, first of all, do you believe yourself have a soul? But I think most people do. Most people listening to your show would do anyway. And to me, connecting to your heart is the closest thing of connecting to your soul. I think that for most people, it's easier to understand when we say we connect to the heart or connect to your intuition. And for me, that's all part of connecting your soul. And so for some people, that's like that inner voice, like that still voice, or like that small, like whisper they're connecting to. Sometimes it's not just whispers. Sometimes it's just this feeling of love, this feeling of light that is within us that we cannot explain with our mind. So that's what I say, when we say connect our soul, there is also this deep level of knowing when you know that, oh, this is your soul. So you're not going to question it, even though you cannot explain it with your logical mind.
So what are the best way to connect our souls? Is it meditation or that any other methods we have?
I do feel meditation is a really good foundation. Like that's like a basic thing to really help us to connect with our soul, because meditation helps us to cultivate the awareness. And so when we have that awareness, we can really listen to our soul. And when people talk about being in a flow, when they're doing things that they enjoy, doing things that they love, then in a way you're also connecting with your soul.
So, but why we do the meditations? That how can I get to know that this is a voice of my soul, or it is like my inner noise?
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of times when we start with meditation, it is a lot of our thoughts, like it's the inner noise, like you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, the main focus of meditation is to cultivate the awareness. And so sometimes people go into meditation and are like, oh, I can't quiet my mind, and they think they failed, and they don't go back into meditation again. And that kind of stopped them because they have this expectation that I have to still mind. Whereas it's important to remember, well, if the point of meditation is to cultivate this awareness, maybe today I'm aware I have a lot of thoughts and I can't listen to that inner voice, but that's okay. We're making progress. And there would become a time that you feel like, to me, I feel like I would drop from here, the space, I drop down to my heart space. It's different for each person, but for me, I feel like I'm dropping down to this space. And when that's where I feel I know I connect to my soul, when that's where I can hear my soul's voice, not literally hearing my soul's voice, but it's just a sense of knowing for me.
So what are the best technique to do the meditation? Is it at like particular time that do we need to do meditations, or we can do any time? But what are the perfect techniques for that?
So I don't have any perfect technique. Spoiler alert. And I feel like because everybody has a different learning style. So first of all, to me, there's no best time to meditate. It's just because we live, we also have doing different things. We're a parent, and so, or you run a business, or maybe you're an employee yourself. You have to work two jobs. So it's really important just to be able to find that time for yourself, and that is the best time to do meditation. So not to get hung up, it has to be morning or evening. So that's the first thing with time. I think with the technique of dropping into the heart, there are so many different ways. And to me, I always see it as think about connecting to your senses. So there are like visual meditation, for example, like, when you go into visualization, there are, just sounds. Like some people don't like to connect with the visuals, but they want to just connect with sound. Just want to listen to sound. Some people don't like sounds. They just want complete silence. They don't like sound in the background. Some people feel like they can't sit still and they need to move. And those are people who are really good to do movement meditation. So it really connects with, there's so many different styles of meditation. And then there is always a style that would work with you that matches your learning style. So for example, if you're a visual person, maybe it's easy for you to get into a visualization, and that's how maybe that meditation, the focus is to connect with your soul. So it's easy for you to do that. Maybe for some people, they prefer movement. So maybe it's through dance, or it's through walking in the nature. And that's the way that they feel like, oh, I can now really quiet down and connect. And that works too.
Many times that I do the meditations in the morning. That generally I do the listening at the music, and I try to go in the meditation. Many times I feel that I am above the earth and my body is like moving. I feel kind of that sometimes, that when I go in a very deeper state, I feel like I'm in the universe, right? Then everything is moving around on my body.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost going to like that trance state. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah. So many times that everyone wants to visualize their future, right? Many people have a complaint about they don't know the techniques how to visualize things about your future. Every time that people feel like there are so many thoughts are coming into mind, so they are not able to focus about the visualizations. So what are the best way to do that?
Okay. So like I said, it really goes with your learning style. For some people, for example, why yoga is such a great practice, because after you do the physical part, let's say the asanas, the poses, your body, it's tired out, and then your mind can relax. It's just easier. For some people, that works for some people. For me, for example, I love drinking a cup of cacao. So I work with cacao medicine, and it drops me right into my heart space. And that's where, I can connect deeply. So, it's for everybody, I would say it's really different. Now you can say visualization, some people, they can't visualize. So maybe it's not seeing, but maybe it's just a feeling, maybe it's focused on feeling that. You don't have to be able to see it. Maybe it's for some people, it's just on a physical way, you know, how does that physically feel like? I know it sounds a little bit strange, but for example, let's say, I don't know if you want to visualize your future, I'm earning like $1 million. Like, you know, just an example, I'm just guessing. That's an example. You know, some people, they can see it very clearly in their head. Those are the people who are really visual. Some people, it's like, it's very hard for them to see them. Those don't turn into feeling. How does it feel when you receive that $1 million dollars? And then just, you know, go into that feeling and just really stay and embody with that feeling, because that's also very powerful.
Yeah. So when I hear the one of the podcasts that there's a one lady sent that she's mostly prefer to do the visualization at the time of sleeping. Why? Because at the time of sleeping that we are giving the energy to the universe, so that universe will work till whole night, and the next day maybe that you will get a result, or the next day, or meanwhile that it is a powerful at the time of sleeping, as it says.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now many people, as you say, that many people prefer the silence, but the silence may be the uncomfortable for many people. Like many people doesn't like the silence. So why silence is still necessary for the soul?
Well, I feel like it's not because people don't like silence. It's more like people are not familiar with silence. So it's just that we didn't grow up to be in silence. Like if you're in a culture where you grow up to be like silent, I think like that would be totally fine. So just have to think about, it's more that we're not familiar with silence, because like say in societies or in culture, you're conditioned to like fill in the silence, or like constantly you have something going on, because that's that doing, right? We're constantly in that doing. Correct. Whereas when you talk about silence, it's that being state. We're just in the being. And so really it's a practice. It's just really, you know, getting used to it. It's just being more familiar. The more we practice, the easier it gets. And for the soul, why it's important to have silence, because we're talking about when you talk about the inner noise versus inner voice. That inner voice is it's unless, you know, you have developed quite a strong connection with your own intuition, then, you know, you can hear it quite strongly. You know, at the beginning, it's like really low volume, you know, and then you have to turn down everything else into like lower volume, so you can hear that like really, really like low volume at the background, which is your soul's voice or your soul's whisper, you could say. So that's why silence is necessary in that sense. Like to be able to hear that small, tiny background noise at the beginning, and you know it's going to be closer and closer as we develop that connection with our soul.
Okay, so let me tell you a story that one of my friends' father who came to US from India. So India, their house is nearby the railway station. So every night, constantly, that train is going. So they are hearing that siren and everything, right, of that train. Suddenly that they came to US, and the US is very silent at the night, even the day that you hardly saw a person in your society, right? So they got depressed that everyone was dead, or what happening, that where are the peoples, why I'm not able to see anyone. So they got depressed. So one of my friend, he just kept at the time of sleeping, he make the sound of a train in the sound bar, that he kept the sound of the train. So his father gonna sleep early. So he was habituated to hear that noise. So it was very frustrated for him for.
Yeah, you're right. And that's so powerful. Like it is, you know, that association from the brain, right? Like that is, I feel safe with that sound.
Exactly, yeah. So if someone struggles to meditate, what is the simplest doorway into the stillness?
The simplest doorway to stillness, I think it starts with the mind, and it's to lose all expectations. Like stop expecting that I have to go into stillness, because that's where people kind of trip up. I feel like, you know, when I'm expecting that I need to be a certain, like that's how meditation works, that's where, you know, people don't find that, and they feel like, oh, I can't find a stillness because I'm trying to find that. And so a really good way for me is really just, you know, going into nature, going for a walk, but, you know, don't take your phone, don't take any devices, so we're not there to snap pictures and stuff. And just, you know, giving yourself this time, this space, just be with your thoughts. Instead of trying to quiet your thoughts. This is a time to be your thoughts, observe your thoughts. If you're feeling things, allow yourself to feel things. If you feel like, oh my God, I can notice I'm worrying about these things, just allow all these to come up. So instead of stopping them, once they're all come up, like once we allow all these things to arise, that's where we'll find the stillness. It's not to stop these things at the beginning. I feel like there's a lot of people, there's a misconception. It's like, I have to stop all these to go to stillness. No, it's actually, you have to let all these go, so then you can go into stillness.
So can that meditation be seen the way listening to divine?
Yes, for me, yes. I would say that's more, you can say, the side benefit. Of course, let's say there is actually, it depends on the purpose of the meditation too, right? What's the objective of the meditation? Just like exercise, is that for strengthening the arm muscle, strengthening the ab muscle? So
correct, yeah.
There's the purpose of the meditation, kind of gives a direction of where, this meditation will take you. But in general, meditation, like I said, it is to focus on cultivating your awareness. And that is a very important thing, because that awareness is going to help you to be more mindful throughout your day. So you're not only connecting your soul in that 5 minute or 5 hours of meditation, you're still connected to your soul even throughout your day, when you're doing your dishes, when you're driving your car, when you're paying your bill.
Right. But I want to talk about the ego. Okay. Now, do you see the ego as an enemy, or is it a misunderstood teacher?
It's not an enemy. It is a teacher. I would say it's a teacher, and it's there to help you in certain ways. It helps us to help, it wants to keep us safe. That's what the ego is there for. And the ego is also part of personality, and we need our personality to experience the world.
But as now I'm talking about the Gita. Okay, so as the divine says that whenever you talk to divine, whenever you feel the divine or feel the soul, that you have to submit your ego first. So according to that, what is your thought on that?
Yeah, totally. Well, the ego is the servant. So I feel, that's, to me, that's how I interpret it. The ego is the servant. You have to submit. This is not what you think, not your mind says you're going to do, but that's where the submission is. To you truly to listen to the soul and the divine guidance. You have to put that aside, and and then know that you're here to actually to co-create. It's not what your mind wants to do.
Right. So what the illusion does the ego create that prevent us from the living freely?
Well, like I said, the ego is here to protect us, right? It wants to keep us safe. And usually that means staying small. Don't be seen. Don't do anything, that would make you feel ashamed of yourself. Don't do anything that makes you feel painful. Like, let's not go there, right? That's what the ego says. And so you can say all the illusions is like the fear of failure, for example, or like the thought of feeling, oh, I'm not good enough. So let's just not try that. I'll stick to this path that my parents say or the society say is the best for me. Like, let's not explore something creative, or let's not do that crazy thing that other people think is I'm crazy. You know what I mean? But that is actually where my soul wants to go. So I would say those are the illusions. The illusions are the thoughts and beliefs that are trying to keep us safe. But usually what it does is lock us in fear.
So do you believe that ego gives you the stubbornness for your values?
The stubbornness for our value. I would say it really comes down to, even you say stubbornness. Is it coming from a space of fear, or is it coming from a space of love? Do you see what I mean? If you say, because you can interpret both ways. If it's coming from a space of fear, then it is coming from your mind, coming from ego. But if it's coming from a space of love, then let's say I'm stubborn about this belief because this is truly what I believe in. This is my soul's truth. That is coming from a space of love.
So how can I identify or recognize that our choice is coming from our ego or from our soul?
So that exactly is the answer. What I said is coming from is noticing. And that's where, first of all, most important is the awareness, right? That's where we talk about meditation, cultivating the awareness. And then you're aware, okay, is this coming from a place of love, or is this coming from a place of fear? It's this choice, right? Am I doing this because I'm scared that blah, blah, or is it truly because that I love doing this, or I feel like this is my intuition showing me, and I'm taking this leap of faith to do something that's unknown.
Okay. Now, is it true healing about the fixing ourselves or remembering that we are never broken?
Yes. So since you asked this question, I know you already know the answer. And of course, to me, it's the second part. It's not about fixing yourself. It is remembering. Healing means returning to your whole self. And to me, it's remembering who you are and then to see that, oh, these are all these blocks that I have to unlearn, right? This is all these barriers that I've set, between me and my soul. And now, okay, I just have to unblock them.
So why generally that we resist healing even when we know it's what we need?
Because we are a creature in comfort. I think it's just on a biological level. We want to stay where we are because we are a creature in comfort. Our brain is wired to avoid pain, right? And wired to, to tend to pleasure and comfort. So that's why we resist healing. It's human nature. We want to stay where we are because it's comfortable. I want to stay in the safety bubble.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, you have to stay in the safety bubble. That's right.
So what role does play our body in our soul healing?
Well, our body is very much connected to our soul healing because I do believe, when we have a physical disease, there's also, even though you can say there's the, physical factors going to it, there's the emotional and energetic layer to it as well. So and then almost, when we have some kind of physical symptoms, there's something on the, emotionally, there is something there that is blocked as well. And so it's interesting when we have some kind of disease happening in our body, is to be able to keep a curious mind too, be open-minded. It's not like, it's not like you create this illness to punish yourself or anything. It's important to let that judgment go too, but just to be curious, see, oh, okay, what is that emotion? What is this? What is my body telling me? What is the message? What is it showing me on an emotional level, mental level, right? What is this blockage about, which is related to the physical illness?
Yeah. So life, sometimes that we believe that without intentions, living the life is nothing, right? So how the powerful is intention is shaping not just our day, but it could be a destiny.
Yes. So actually, I love that you said that because every day we are living with intention. It's just that we're conscious of it or not, but we are always living with intention. And now it's more about living with a conscious intention, right? So we are creating, like you said, we're not just creating our day, but it's giving us this direction to where we want to go. I always say like setting intention is like setting the direction of the flow. Right? Without conscious intention, we're flowing, or like we're floating with life, but we're reacting with things that are happening outside us. We're just like bouncing around. it's like a ball bouncing around in a river with no sense of direction. Whereas when you consciously set an intention, because where attention goes, or where intention goes, that's where your energy flows. So when I set this is the flow I want it to be, but I'm still open to, it doesn't have to exactly go this way. But this is just the intention, gives the direction of the flow. This is where I want my life to head toward.
But what if the many person, if doesn't know about their intention or the purpose of that life, how can they find clarity?
How can they find clarity if they don't know where they're going? So the first question I will ask them is come back to ask yourself, what is it that you want now? Or what's it that you want to feel? Because a lot of people, they know what they don't want, but a lot of people don't know what they want when you ask them this question.
Yeah.
So it's really coming back to what is it you want? And more specifically, I would say, go into your feeling. So it's not like I want this house, I want this job promotion. When it comes to your feeling, what is it you want to feel at this moment? And that's where you're going to bring clarity. It's not about in the future. It's about coming to the now. What's it that you want to feel now?
Now, as our holy book says that everyone or every souls came on the earth for specific purpose. So how we can identify that what is our purpose on earth? Why we take a birth on earth?
That's a really good question. So to me, there's twofold to that. First of all, I do believe everybody's purpose here on earth is to learn and to grow, right? That's the purpose of our soul, one of the purpose. That's why we're here. And the second purpose is to be able to express your soul gifts. So you're born with specific gifts and talents that is only yours. And we're all supposed to be here to express that gift. And that is, our purpose. I truly believe that's our purpose. Now that's unique to each person because each person has different gifts they bring into the world. And so you can say it is really a journey.
I think I lost you. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Do you want to repeat the...
No. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. But that many peoples are always like, go with the flow. Like they are becoming molecules. They don't know about they even didn't know about what they want from the life. They are just doing whatever the daily routine they just follow. Okay.
Yes.
For that, how they identify the purpose of their life? If they are getting frustrated in the daily routine, but they doesn't know what to do.
Then, you can, of course, always say, start meditation, right? Like, start to whatever that they bring frustrated, but usually people don't do that.
Yeah.
So I would say do something different, whatever that something different is for you. Because if you're doing the same thing every day in your daily routine and expect different results, that's the definition of insanity defined by Albert Einstein. So if you want something different from your life, you need to do something different first. And that doing something different, it maybe is starting a meditation, maybe it's not. Maybe it's today I'm going to finally take this course that I've been wanting to take, or finally I'm going to quit my job because I've been thinking for a long time I'm going to quit my job and go for traveling, and I'm just going to do that, right? So it doesn't have to be so drastic like that, but there is something different that because that frustration also comes through when your heart is telling you something else and the mind is just trying to suppress the heart, say, no, we don't want to do that. And that creates a frustration.
Yeah, I agree. So what is the difference between empathy and the compassion?
So to me, empathy means you're feeling what another person's feeling. So maybe that person's feeling the pain and you can feel the pain, you can feel the sadness. Whereas compassion, it's more an understanding. No matter what that person is feeling, we're not feeling what they're feeling, but we have this understanding of what they're going through, and we have this, it's coming from a place of kindness. So to me, it's different in that sense of, empathy is you're feeling what other people are feeling, whereas compassion, there's this understanding. We're not necessarily feeling what they're feeling, but we have this understanding coming from a place of kindness.
Right. So how can we protect our energy while we're staying open-hearted?
So there are definitely energy tools, many energy protection tools. And the most important part is coming back to intention again. So we're protecting our energy coming from a place of love, meaning we're protecting our energy so that we don't get affected by other people's energies. And so we can stay true to ourselves, stay true to who we are, stay true to what we want to say. We're not affected by, other people around us. Whereas protection coming from a place of fear would be like, oh my God, like this is so dangerous. It's out here, like the world's out to get me. I'm going to get sick from that. So that's the mentality of protection coming from fear, and that's where we're really closing ourselves off.
So when we say the protect of our energy, are we talking about the aura?
Yes, so the energy field, we have different, you can say bodies, energetic bodies actually. The aura field is part of that energy field. There's a very simple energy tool that a lot of spiritual teachers talk about, and it's to imagine yourself in either a color, like a light bubble, or it could be like a light crystal, it could be like a membrane, or like a cloak with it could be like a white light, or it could be like any color from the rainbow, so like a golden light membrane. So I just say membrane, but some people they use bubble, or they use like a flower. So whatever that image that resonate with you, and I would just ask people, you can try it out yourself, see how you feel when you put yourself in this energy protection, which is, I'll just say like a bubble now, like a white light bubble, for example, and imagine yourself like being inside the white light bubble and notice how does that feel, and when you're not in the bubble, notice how you feel.
So how can I get to know that right now, my aura is a positive or negative?
How do you know it's positive, negative? I wouldn't say there's not really positive or negative. It could be, we're always in a constant state of expansion and contraction. So it is just, and it's nature's cycle, right? If you look at nature, plants won't be always growing. There will be plants, wilting and dying and going through the rebirth cycle. So we'll have this phase of expansion, and then we have this phase of contraction where we're in. So to me, there's not really negative or positive. That's how I see it. It's just expansion. When you're in the phase of expansion, you feel like, your energy is going outward. When you feel like you're starting to feel drained, for example, you feel tired, that's where you need to come back to yourself now. This is where you need to kind of fill up your own well, so to say.
Okay. Then what is the best way to as we say that when the aura is a positive, that it likes your expand your aura, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's negative, it's kind of a shrinking your aura.
Yeah.
How can I make it positive, or how can I expand my aura? Do through meditations, or there are any other techniques?
To me, I wouldn't say expanding aura. I would say it's more lifting up your vibration, lifting your energy.
Correct,
And so meditation, yes, definitely. And just doing things that really nourish you on a soul level. Like just sometimes maybe it's just as simple as getting enough rest. And there's, by the rest, it's not just physical rest. There's 7 types. It's physical rest, emotional rest, mental rest, spiritual rest, creative rest, sensory rest, right? Social rest. So there's like different type of rest as well. And so for me, it's always coming back to nourishing yourself with self-care. What can you do to really nourish yourself to fill up your own well from a soul level, not just on the mental level.
Okay. So do you believe that love is the highest vibration of the soul?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you kind of have a feeling ever? Why
The
you
feeling
say that
of love.
Why you say that love is the highest vibration of the soul?
I think, well, in fact, there's a book I read a long time ago, and then I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but talk about consciousness, level of consciousness.
Okay.
And to me, for example, when you get to the Christ consciousness, for example, it is also love, or what you read as a guru or a spiritual teacher, where you can feel their love. When we talk about their wisdom, it's all love. Like people feel it, they feel the love, right? You can feel the love. You can't see it, but you can feel the love. And so that's why, to me, love is the language that, the highest frequency of soul, because that's where, and I feel like love in this case, to me, what I've learned so many years also is, in a mind, we have like this one understanding of love, but there's this, I feel like love, there's so many different aspects of love that we're always learning. Like forgiveness is a part of love. Patience is love. Compassion is love, right? So there's different aspects of love as well.
Right. So how do we see from judgment to compassion, especially toward those who have hurt?
I would say start with forgiveness, and you start forgiveness with yourself, because when we have judgment towards other people, it's always a reflection of what's going on inside. Another person, you can say, it's really a mirror of what's going on inside. So when we have judgment for another person, that means they can reflect that we also have judgment within ourselves. And so the forgiveness really start with ourselves. When we start to forgive that part of ourselves that got triggered by this person, or this part of ourselves that was mirrored by this person, or the shadow qualities that we see in this person, but we can see, oh, I actually have it myself too. So we can start to practice forgiveness for ourselves. That's where we can start to feel the compassion, because compassion is not just for the other person, it's really compassion for ourselves.
Right. So many times that persons are taking guilt throughout their life, right? So why do we carry the guilt long after the moment that passed?
So why do we carry guilt? It's same as any other emotions, really. I guess like grief, you can say anger. Why do we hold on to it? Because that is what we're familiar with. Coming back that, creature comfort, topic here. It's weird, but that's like, if that's what we're familiar with. And it's interesting because you said guilt, because to me, I feel like, well, I don't see that for me in my own personal experience, but doesn't mean, in your experience, probably you can see a lot of people have that. So I would say that is really because the guilt sometimes not just come from our personal, it could come from the whole family or the ancestral line, the guilt that we're carrying from the collective, the guilt. It could be, like I say, applied to any other emotions too. And so that is one of the lessons, right? Like the emotion is here as a teacher also to show us what we need to learn from that.
So how do we forgive ourselves when the mind refuses to let go?
How can we forgive ourselves when a mind refuses to let go? So actually, that's a really good question, because even I want to add to that, because even the mind knows it's time to let go. It's still hard. Not to say like, so of course, when the mind doesn't want to let go, like we're not there yet. So we're not even going to start to think about forgiveness. I feel like it, it's more like, oh yeah, I know I need to forgive. I know I need to let go, but I just can't. Like I can't let it go. Like it's kind of when we're at that stage, that's where you can do, there are different practices out there. To me, the tools that I use would be like a forgiveness mantra, which is the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian mantra. Very simple. Would use that. I would use the fire ceremony, for example, to burn away the things that I want to release to help me. And usually, it's why, the mind knows, intellectually we know when to let go, but it's hard to forgive is because there's this whole emotion. There's like this bunch of emotions there that needs to be unwrapped, needs to be seen and witnessed and acknowledged first. So that's what it happens. And these tools can help to witness and release those emotions.
So if you could whisper one truth into the hearts of everyone listening right now, what it would be?
So I love your question. I was sitting with it, like, what is it that wants to come through today? And I feel like, because we're on the topic of connecting with your soul, and it is that everyone can connect with your soul. Your soul is waiting for you to connect with it. And it's not like everybody, you have to have an exceptional gift to hear that. We all have instances, I feel like, that we know that's our intuition talking to us. And, our soul speaks to us through our intuition. So everybody can connect to your soul. Everybody can connect to your intuition. The more you practice, the better you get at it, just like any other skill, any other craft in this world. So, just keep going with doing that, to building that relationship with your soul, because the relationship with your soul is the most important relationship besides your relationship with the divine. I feel like the relationship with the divine and your soul is really the most important relationship to cultivate in our life.
Yeah. So can we do just 1 minute, like practical things, kind of a meditation, so that people get to know about how to do that?
Okay. 1 minute practical meditation.
Nice. So at least they get to know that how to do that.
Okay. Get to know how to do that. Have you heard of the box breath? Because that's a very easy one. When you count, you in breath for 4 counts, and then you hold your breath for 4 counts.
Right.
Have you tried that before?
Okay.
For yourself?
I tried it.
And how do you feel about it?
Mostly that I do like take a deep breath and hold for at least 5 seconds. Then release that. I tried that technique.
Okay. And how about for visualization? How does visualization feel for you?
Visualization I always try to do, but many times, because of the thoughts, I'm not able to concentrate on the visualization. I wanted to do, I tried every day, every night. I try to do practice more and more, but somehow there are so many thoughts coming into my mind, so I'm not able to concentrate on
the visualization.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's all right. Maybe, like I said, like there's different styles. I feel like, so what's the meditation style that works best for you at the moment?
So mostly that I like hear the mantras like Om.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or keep the like very silent music kind of thing, deep healing music kind of things, or the self-guided meditation sometimes I do.
So do you chant Om yourself then?
Yeah.
Yes. And how does it feel for you when you chant the Om? Sorry, I know
Yeah, that's one of the best feeling for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we do that then? Because
right,
like I said, it goes with a different, that's going with the sound. And I also actually use sound for my own meditation.
Okay.
So we can do that. So if you would say the practical, so if anybody who are listening on the show, unless you're driving, I invite you to close your eyes. And, there is with posture, kind of with meditation, if you're sitting, to have both feet touching the ground if possible, or if you're sitting cross-legged, that's fine. Or if you're lying down on the bed, that's also fine as well. Just try to keep your spine tall, I would say. And for me, I'm sitting, so I'm just going to put my hands on my thighs, sitting up tall and just closing your eyes. We'll start by taking a deep breath in and out first. So we're taking a deep breath in through our nose and a deep breath out through our mouth. And we'll do 2 more times. So it's just breathing in through the nose. As you breathe out this time through your mouth, try to see if you can make your exhale just a little bit longer. And for the last time, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. See if you can make your exhale a little bit slower now than your last exhale. And now keeping your eyes closed, I invite you to chant Om or Aum, depends on how you learn it. And if you like, you can place your hands. I would put my hands into Anjali Mudra, but you don't have to. Or you can put one hand on your heart, one on your belly, or both hands on your heart. Or you can just keep your hands on your thighs, see whichever feels good to you. I will start chanting Aum. We'll do 3 times on the exhale. So let's just breathe in together to get ready. Deep breath in. time at your own pace. Take a deep breath in. And just for a moment, keeping your eyes closed, taking a deep breath in and just a deep breath out. And just feel the vibration of the sound you just made inside your body, inside your heart. Just notice where the vibration, the sound is landing for you. Noticing any subtle changes or shifts that you experience. And even if you feel the same as before, you feel like you still have a lot of thoughts coming in, that's okay. Remember, what we're doing here is to cultivate the awareness. So you're aware, you're observing yourself. And I invite you to take another deep breath in through your nose and another deep breath out through your mouth. Now you can release everything, and then you can slowly open your eyes.
Thank you.
Thank you really for doing it with me. And definitely, you can chant. You would chant more normally for your own meditation, more than 3 times. Yes, yeah, and it's beautiful, like an Om chant to keep doing it. And And do you feel sit in silence afterwards? Usually, sorry, just to add to that part.
Yeah. After that, mostly the meditations that you have to keep at least 10 minutes in the silent mode, that would give you the more relaxation. I agree. Okay, final, the rapid fire round. I'll ask you the 10 questions, only the 1-word option, okay?
Okay.
Soul or ego?
Soul.
Silence or sound?
Sound for me.
Prayer or meditation?
Prayer, actually.
Forgiveness or justice?
Forgiveness.
Giving or receiving?
Giving.
Love or fear?
Love.
Intuition or logic?
Intuition.
Energy or matter?
Energy.
Gratitude or desire?
Gratitude.
Dreams or reality?
Dreams.
Empathy or sympathy?
Empathy.
Okay. Thank you, Tania, for the beautiful and soul-nourishing conversation. And to everyone listening, I hope you felt a little lighter and little freer and the more connected to your own sacred nature. So until the next time, keep listening to our souls and keep embracing your sacred journey. This is the Samir Show. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.